your pumpkin spice latte and let's embrace fall. It's go time for fall colors, and trees in northwestern Minnesota, well, they are leading the change of the season.
Man, you sound way too excited.
I know. I don't know where that
like,
flip the switch.
No,
I think I'm excited because Lisa Green is joining us again today, and I think you're also excited about fall colors.
Well, I love to go hiking, so this is a fun time of year for me, and I actually might head out this weekend to see the early colors in parts of Minnesota, so really looking forward to that. But we do want to talk about it because the colors are starting to switch over. We're seeing more and more pictures coming in of the fall colors. This is actually from the North Dakota side of the Red River, the Pembina Gorge State Recreation Area. They've been posting a lot on their Facebook page of the colors changing over, and you can see in the gorge some of those trees are starting to take on that yellow and orange hue. A really pretty area to take in the fall colors there. And we don't have a lot of trees in North Dakota. That's one of the exceptions where we have some trees and where we can kind of monitor things. So we look to Minnesota to see what we'll be seeing throughout the Red River Valley. And so the Minnesota DNR posts updates every day on how things are looking. And so here's how we are, where we are. We're looking at a patchy fall foliage right now in our viewing area up in the northwestern corner of Minnesota in yellow. So we're looking at about 25 to 50% of peak. So we're starting to get kind of halfway through or up to halfway through where we would expect to see the brightest colors. So starting to see those changes, and we do have some really nice temperatures coming up this weekend to get out and check out those fall colors. I'm thinking in about a week, maybe 2 weeks, we'll see more of that color start to peak in that area and in eastern North Dakota too.
I thought I read that it's going to be a better year for colors because of moisture, or how does that factor in? Or?
Well, it can factor in. We have been in a drought in some areas, so we're looking at conditions not being so great in the Northern Valley because of that. That would be a factor in it. But at the same time, we're also seeing good conditions for those colors to change over. So we need those sunny days, warm days, and nights that are cool, but not necessarily dropping to freezing. And I know we had a couple of those nights that might affect things too. So it's just, it's a guessing game sometimes when it comes to how vibrant the colors are going to be. But the kind of weather we've been having is great for, those red leaf trees to really shine bright. So
can you please take some pictures when you go? And then we can maybe join us again, next week and talk about what you're seeing out there.
How do you pick your spots? Do you just kind of randomly?
I typically go to the state parks in Minnesota. Okay. So, there's Maplewood and Buffalo River, and in the Northern Valley too. That's more of a weekend thing because of the drive from Fargo. But we're really looking at some really great weather for that this weekend. Just watch out. There's a chance for a couple of thunder showers.
Okay.
Can you give us some hunting reports too?
I don't know if that's allowed in state parks.
All right, let's talk about what's happening on the East Coast.
Yes. Okay, so we've been monitoring Hurricane Florence this whole time, and she's been quite strong. We're looking at some conditions that are looking pretty rough, starting to get more rough for areas in the East Coast. So I just want to point out here, Lisa mentioned this about the size of the hurricane. We were talking about this morning, so I'm taking a more wide view of the U.S. You can see Florence in the east on satellite. And so I've just kind of measured across Florence, just a rough draw. In fact, it's probably even bigger based on the cloud cover there. But compared to how things look in the tri-state area, it's about the size of North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota combined. So that gives you perspective of how big this storm is. And as we take a closer look, it is a Category 2 hurricane, so it has weakened. A lot of people think if it's no longer a major hurricane, which you have to be a Category 3 to be considered officially labeled a major hurricane, that it's not going to be as bad. But there are other factors in this here. So it's already making its presence known on the Carolina coast there. You can see that red box, that's a tornado watch. And we're already seeing some of those outer bands of the storm move in. You can see where the center of circulation is, and that's moving to the northwest here. So over the next 24 hours, we'll likely watch this make landfall on the track. You can see a Category 2 storm likely making landfall on the North Carolina coast. And I just want to point out each one of those icons represents a time interval. So when it's making landfall in the overnight hours tonight, the next time interval is 12 hours away. So there's a 12-hour period where you see it doesn't really move that much. That means the hurricane force winds, the tropical storm winds on the outer bands, the storm surge, and especially the heavy rain is going to last longer as it stalls out. And that's the big concern here. Of course, you're going to get the typical, I shouldn't say typical, but what we would expect with a landfalling hurricane. But if it stays, if it doesn't quickly move through, that's going to have some major impacts.
And before you go, you've had people reach out to you and say
Yes.
they have loved ones or friends there or have been there in the past. So people are tracking this.
They certainly are here in the valley. You know, we're in the middle of the
So far
continent
away.
here, and some people think, well, why are we talking about a hurricane? But a lot of us have connections that direction.
Thank you, Lisa.
Good stuff.